Welcome to another Smiles in the Air, your oral health and prevention podcast. I'm Celso da Costa, and today with me I have Dr. Simon Chard. He's an awards-winning UK cosmetic and implant dentist, educator, and entrepreneur. I say it in French because it's way better entrepreneur than entrepreneur. So he graduated from King's College, London Dental Institute, and holds a bachelor from Bristol University. And together with his wife, Dr. Megan, he co-owns Rothlead Lodge Dental Practice in Surrey, where he focuses in minimal invasive, biological respectfully, and technology advanced cosmetic and implant dentistry. Simon has received numerous awards, including Dentistry Person of the Year 2022 and Best Young Dentist UK 2015. It's been a while, Simon.
Not so young anymore.
He served as president of the British Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry, and today is here as the co-founder of Pärla Oral Care that you co-founded with Rhonda Eskander and Adarsh Thanki. I never pronounce it well, his name, so I hope that it doesn't burn me.
That's fine.
So a sustainable and plastic-free alternative feature in major UK retailers that you have in your hand. So Simon, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for
and
having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. We were talking that the last time that you were here was in 2019. We had a good time, and it was hotter, warmer at least than here.
We had a lovely time.
Yeah, Simon, I think we need to start talking about Pärla. That's what you have in your hands, and everyone knows you, what you did in dentistry, and now you are trying to bring something new. And I'm so fan. We talked last October in London about what you created and the goal that you put it in this not just a toothpaste, but something to change really the oral care in the world. So tell me, how came the idea of Pärla? Why you got together with your co-founders of Pärla to bring it to life? Because being a dentist, here you are trying to avoid having more work as a dentist, or what?
It's definitely not helped with that. Yes, I mean, we started Pärla because of one sentence, and that sentence was that every tube of toothpaste that you've used, that I've used, that anyone has used, or that we've recommended to our patients still exists somewhere on the planet. They're made of plastic, which takes over 500 years breaking down into microplastics, which is going into landfill, going into the oceans, going into our food system, and unfortunately making its way back into our bodies. And the modern research says that almost all of us have microplastics now in our bodies in one way or another. And for me, back in 2018, I had my first child, and I have three. But I had my first child, and the thought of the oceans being ruined with plastic as a result of my decisions and the recommendations I was giving to my patients was something that I felt compelled that I needed to do something about. Our industry is filled with big multinational companies that are focused on profits over purpose. And I felt, and we felt as a founding team with Rona and Adarsh, that we could create something, use our profiles for good, make something that was better for the planet, better for people in terms of the ingredients that we were putting in our products, and actually just create, like you guys have done with EMS, a really cool brand that people would be proud to stand by and to align with in terms of their own ethos and their own ethics, both as professionals, but also as consumers buying it in the stores and that sort of thing.
And you got confronted with something that we also had and have problems still, that is the change of habits, because you started with tablets, right? Super idea, you can bring it everywhere, you don't have the problem at the airport that the toothpaste is too big. Well, why the shift then to the little tube that you have now in your hands?
Yeah, I mean, as you rightly say, we started with toothpaste tablets, and I think all the best entrepreneurs anyway, start with quite a lot of naivety.
Yeah.
And we certainly went into it with a healthy dose of naivety. And looking back now over the last 6 years, if I'd known how much work it was and how hard it would be, maybe, I don't know, I still would have done it, but I would have thought more carefully about it, I guess. But so we launched with toothpaste tablets, which are dehydrated, perfect dose of toothpaste every single time. That meant we could have refillable glass jars with compostable refill bags. That meant completely zero waste, closed loop solution. And we still have thousands of subscribers and tens of thousands of customers that are using those products, and they're brilliant products and certainly the best toothpaste tablets on the market. But what we found, given that we sell in the UK in the main supermarkets and pharmacies like Sainsbury's, Waitrose, Boots, Ocado, education in those locations is really difficult and really expensive. And so not only are we a new brand to many people seeing us on shelf for the first time next to your, I won't name the name brand, but all the big brands that obviously everyone knows, but also we're in a completely different form factor. We're in a glass jar, in a box. And so actually you've got just a matter of seconds when you're at those supermarket or pharmacy shelves, microseconds probably. And so getting the consumer to understand what this product is and that it's a new brand and that it's better for you and better for the planet and designed by dentists, there's just too many messages to get across in one go. And so I always say, for me, I don't care if you use a tablet or a paste. That part is neither here nor there. What's important is it's got really good ingredients in it, everything that you need and nothing that you don't. And it's also 100% plastic free. So we're not contributing to 20 billion plastic tubes that are going into landfill from toothpaste every single year.
It's funny because you already got us two frustrations that brought you to Pärla. One was the plastic waste, and the second was like what is inside the toothpaste that you normally buy in your supermarket.
Yeah.
So what caught you, and what's inside of Pärla? That's the first one. And what got you to look for something healthier? Because we are, as clinicians and oral health clinicians, it's sometimes we focus too much in the mouth and not the rest of the body. But here is a little bit different because you are three dentists. That's okay. You care about the mouth, of course, but you see it as the entry door for the body, and you're trying to provide something better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think obviously now in 2026, the mouth-body connection has never been more front of mind for clinicians and for consumers, and it's really gaining traction thanks to many individuals, many of our joint friends like Miguel Stanley and who actually I think first introduced me to EMS. He's a good friend, and also obviously Victoria Sampson, who's gone on Diary of a CEO talking about the oral microbiome. So that mouth-body connection has never been more front of mind for people, I think, than today. But 6 years ago when we started the brand, I was, and I still am, very much a biohacker, always looking at the ingredients that I'm putting into my body, into my kids' bodies, into the products that we're recommending to our patients. And what I could see was two things. Firstly, that a lot of, if not all of these big multinational toothpaste were full of artificial flavors, artificial preservatives, really harsh foaming agents like SLS made from palm oil, which was leading to deforestation. Things like titanium dioxide, which have been banned in food, but for some reason are still present in oral care products. All of these things I didn't see any need for. But the interesting thing with the oral care market was you had the big multinationals, which were packing their toothpaste and still are with these cheap artificial ingredients. But then on the other side, you had what I would kindly and sort of fondly call as more hippie brands that were removing all the products, all the ingredients. So no actives in there at all, no fluoride, no hydroxyapatite, no xylitol, nothing. And trying to make something that you could eat and didn't have really any active ingredients in it. Now that's a great aspiration, but the reality that we know as clinicians is that unfortunately people don't have great diets. The large majority of the population is eating refined sugars and packaged goods that are leading to a huge prevalence of decay and gum disease around the world. And so we certainly didn't want to be a part of that problem. And actually, obviously, we wanted to help to solve it. So the two strategies I had in terms of the ingredient selection were, right, what can I get rid of with no negative impact on the efficacy of the product? And then secondly, what am I going to put in there that's really cutting edge? So ingredients like hydroxyapatite, like the oral probiotics that we have in some of our range. And how do I put them in at the right concentrations so that they're actually going to be effective? Because the spoiler alert for everyone is no one's checking what percentage of these ingredients you're putting in your products at the supermarkets. So I could put in 0.0001% of hydroxyapatite in here and still put hydroxyapatite on my label and talk about it. And so I don't want to make products like that. That's not what we're here for. I know the concentration of hydroxyapatite that is necessary to get the enamel hardening and remineralization outcomes. And so we always make sure with Pärla that we're putting in everything at the right concentrations to get the clinical outcomes that we want to try and achieve for our patients.
Basically, it's to know what's inside and it really works, and the quantities that you have inside.
That's it.
Looking a little bit back, so that's what the three of you tried to do since day one, or this was evolving with the time?
I mean, you learn on the job, right?
Yeah, true. That's
Jump out
the
plane and then build it on your way down. But no, I mean, as I say, ingredient selection is something that's been front of mind for me for many years. We have at the beginning we had very, very strict rules. It was no palm oil. It was vegan ingredients. It was ethically sourced. It was definitely no SLS. Other things I've learned along the way, it was all natural flavorings and that sort of thing. But other things like titanium dioxide, for example, those are things that I've learned more about as I've been more involved in formulation. I've tasted and tested and had my eye over basically every ingredient in this product. So I don't think there's many people that have eaten more toothpaste than me over the last 6 years. But
for the kids, do not
do that. Yeah, that's
I'm
not
telling
recommended.
that every single time to my youngest.
That's it. But the other things that we've learned are how important things like mouthfeel are, and the experience of the paste in your mouth, and how does it make your teeth feel afterwards. And foam has been a big problem because SLS is such a great foaming agent in terms of the foam experience. So when you move to we use coconut-based foaming agents that are much milder on the soft tissues of the mouth. Initially, our foam wasn't good enough. And so people were putting it in and they were like, oh, I have to use 2 because I'm not getting enough foam, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So those sorts of things I've become a bit of an expert on over the last 5 years. And certainly our new pastes and our new tablets, the mouthfeel is, I think, one of the best on the market. And the experience of it is great.
Yeah, I think it was perfect because I remember when I was, bringing home toothpaste without SLS, because the foam, the foam is one thing, it's nice to have and everything, but I appreciate my health, and that's something that I want I don't want to have on my mouth. And I remember one of the comments of my wife was like, doesn't feel that it's clean enough. And I asked, why? There's no foam coming out. And I say, yeah, that's the point. So now it's something that is better for you.
Yeah.
And it was an habit, and we took some time to do it. And still we have some people that come like, no, I need to have a toothpaste that is minty, that have some foam, and at the end I still feel that taste for a couple of hours. And say, couple of hours? You want to have a taste for a couple of hours of toothpaste? Serious? Okay.
And that thing on flavor is so subjective. That's what I've really found, is that some people like peppermint, some people like spearmint, some people like it really minty, some people don't like it minty. So getting that balance right, how is this going to appeal to the most number of people? All of these things are, they're all the complexities that we battle with in making something like this.
Today you have 3 lines of toothpaste, right? One with probiotics, the whitening one, that is that one. This is
with hydroxyapatite.
Yeah, and the third one.
The third one's our more entry level, so that's
standard.
We call it Enamel Protect.
Okay.
It's got the same clean ingredient base, so no artificial flavorings, colorings, preservatives, no SLS, but just in terms of actives, fluoride and xylitol. And then our pro whitening paste is hydroxyapatite plus fluoride and xylitol, and also it contains some vitamin B12 as well, and vitamin E. just to support better immunity and that sort of thing. And then, as you say, our probiotic one. So they're all built off the same base, like that same clean base, because that works really well for us. And then we just build in the different actives. So this one you'll see is actually pink, the paste, because of the vitamin B12, which is quite nice as well. On brand with GBT, with EMS as well.
Well aligned. I use that one and I use the probiotic one. Why a toothpaste with probiotics? What you want to bring to the world that is still not there?
Well, I think the modern approach to oral health is very much to support the body to defend itself, and obviously the aim with the inclusion of oral probiotics into our paste is to support the good bacteria of the mouth to outcompete the bad bacteria. I think we've all moved on now from let's kill everything.
Yeah,
good, bad, all bacteria in the mouth. We know that good bacteria are incredibly important, certainly in the gut and in the mouth. And we like the term of gut health starts in the mouth.
Yeah.
Because the start of the gut is, guess what? It's the mouth. And so we've really focused on that, and we're not at the final outcome. It's going to be a continuous progression over the next couple of years to really enhance the efficacy of that product and really support the oral microbiome in the best way that we can do with the latest research.
Yeah, and it's funny because I always say that with GBT we do kind of a reset of bacteria in the mouth, and then what you need to do is like to try to build the good ones and avoid the bad ones, and that takes home care, but also the good choice of the products. And the good choice of the products doesn't mean that we're going to use the same one to everyone, but we're going to adapt it. That's why the microbiome is good to have kind of where we stand and what we will need in the future to promote the good and not to dispromote the bad ones. And here you are giving the solution with the 3 toothpaste, right? And you are trying to build a better gut health that we are in need in the days of today, with all this processed food.
For sure, yeah. And we have a probiotic chewable mouthwash as well as a tongue scraper as well, which obviously helps with oral microbiome support also.
Tell me, you have a family, you have a business that is your clinic with your wife, and now you are adding an extra business with the Pärla. How can you conciliate all of this? Because I'm seeing you everywhere. We were together in London, and I saw how invested you were with your team, like promoting Pärla. But at the same time, I also see the pictures that you are in the practice, and you are still enjoying to have for your patients. But I see that you have the time for your family, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of the things that I do, I love deeply, and I'm very passionate about. And they all complement each other as well, I think. So one of our key differentiators as a brand with Pärla compared to a lot of the challenger brands in the oral care space that we see is that they do what I call dentist washing.
Yeah.
So they'll say formulated by dentists, designed by dentists, loved by dentists.
Choice number 1 of dentists.
Yeah, exactly. But all 3 of the founders of Pärla are real credible clinical dentists doing top level dentistry, and so that credibility piece has always been really, really important to us as a big part of our founder-led story. But equally, I love what I do. I love dentistry. I love helping my patients, and I love building brands. And so obviously sometimes everything comes together at the same time. One of my children is sick. There's an issue at the practice. There's an issue with Pärla. Being an entrepreneur, you learn very quickly that basically your whole life as a founder is putting out fires and dealing with problems. Sure. And so the quote that's been most front of mind for me recently is pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And so that is definitely true as a founder of a challenger startup brand. But I focus on the important things as well. I mean, I also run a retreat for dentists and dental professionals designed around professional and personal development and growth. It's called the Dental Growth Retreat. We ran one last year, one the year before. And the big focus on that is what I call the value-based calendar. So you look at your let's say, your last week's calendar, and you subdivide the various blocks of time into, right, was that to do with work, or was that health, or was that spirituality, or was that relationships and family time? And then you get a score at the end, and then it's very eye-opening to see how what you say is most important to you in life isn't necessarily reflected in how you allocate your hours. And the most important thing we have in life is our time, right? That's the one finite resource that you can't get back. So I constantly audit my time to make sure that I'm allocating it appropriately to what my core values are. And top of that core value pyramid is my family and my relationships, then my health, and then my businesses. But I do absolutely love building businesses. I mean, that's, I think, why I'm so drawn to you guys at EMS, because I just love everything that you've created in terms, we were discussing before, in terms of product and in terms of just brand. And it's why I love Pärla like a fourth child, because we're doing something great. I'm doing it with people that I love. It's a reflection of me and the aesthetic and the way that, even the feel of the packaging and the illustrations and everything. And so normally I'm not burnt out. Sometimes I am, but I try and go on lots of holidays to balance the books. And when I am away, I was away over the New Year period, I try and detach myself as much as possible and be really present with my kids, because it's very easy to, in the modern world, to be just constantly hooked up to your dopamine device of a phone. And I really try to be as present as I can when I'm around them.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, before this podcast, this recording of this episode, I was like, we were in a podcast, but it was Simon getting the questions out of me. So it was funny to have that, and I think we also appreciate you to come to us and what you have done with Pärla. And having said that, how you see the future of Pärla? What is coming next?
I hope that Pärla will be the oral care brand recommended by dentists and hygienists and therapists across the world. At the moment, there isn't that one brand globally in the oral care space that's available at the places where people buy their oral care products that we can all stand behind. We have the big brands that come in and they pay people to recommend their products. I've been one of those people that's been paid to recommend those products in my previous life before Pärla. And what I would love is to just continue to improve Pärla, make it better for our patients, make it cutting edge in terms of the ingredients that we're using, and really make a positive impact on oral health across the world. And hopefully make being a dentist and a hygiene therapist better in their working environment as well, and the community. I mean, I think another thing that I really focus on in the retreat is relationships. We look at health, and we look at fulfillment in your career. And I have this framework that I call the Great Smile Framework, which is sort of 6 different pillars in each of health and fulfillment. The only one that is overlapping across both of those 2 categories is relationships, and connection with other human beings. And so, again, something that EMS has done so beautifully is build a really fantastic community. And I think that's one of our big focuses at Pärla, is to really find our tribe and really help dental professionals to get more fulfillment out of their jobs, get better outcomes, and just enjoy helping people, because we're so fortunate in the dental profession to be able to do that every day.
Yeah, if we can help, we are here to help. I think it's also good for us when we see something that belongs to this community, or with EMS that is trying to change the world. And I strongly believe that you took the good decisions. I see the values. I identify myself with the values of it.
That.
At home, we used all the products that you gave us last time. We used it really everything, and it was kind of running a report with my wife. Like, oh, what you thought about the green one? It was good for you. What you felt, the difference, and everything. So it's funny, and then having the opportunity to talk with you and understand the why behind the brand. I know Rona and I know you quite well, and understand that what you are trying to achieve is different, and this is a brand made by dentists for dentists, not for dentists, for all for all oral professionals actually. And not only, like, we are talking about cut, we are talking about general health, and you are trying to achieve something with Pärla in that sense. So really appreciate that you share a little bit of your story with us, and to have you here with us to share with the world what we are trying to do.
That's been great to chat.
Simon, thank you so much. And for everyone that listened to this podcast, okay, we were talking about sustainability. We were talking about a dream, not one dentist, but 3 dentists that really want to change the world. We're talking about health, and honestly, have a look at Pärla, because it can help a lot more people than it's helping today. And if we can be part of this message, we will be happy for it. So do not forget, subscribe our podcast in any platform that you are following. It can be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or even YouTube. And do not miss the next episode. So thank you. See you next time.